weathering produces small particles of sand and clay. So as the rocks form small particles due to wind, weather and climate, those small particles are made up of sand and clay. So the amount of the sand and this clay depends on the rock from which the particles are formed. So the amount means quantity of the sand and clay depends on the rock from which the particles were formed. Definitely the sand and clay are formed from breaking down of rocks. From which type of rock the particles were formed determines the amount of the sand and clay formed. So you have understood, right? Weathering produces small particles of sand and clay. What is weathering? Weathering is nothing but the breaking down of rocks into small particles of soil by weather, wind and climate. So weathering produces small particles of soil called sand and clay. So this amount of the sand and clay produced depends on the weathering, that means type of the rock. So amount of the sand and clay depends on the rock from which the particles are formed. That rock is known as parent rock. Like we have parents, from where parents we are formed. Same way, from the parent rock, small particles of sand and clay will be formed. Right? Now, so what is the definition of soil? Soil is nothing but a mixture of rock particles and humus. Rock particles means sandy particles, sand, clay, etc., stones, and humus means dead rotting matter of, let it be animal waste, dried leaves, anything. So soil is a mixture of rock particles and humus. Now let's move on to the classification of the soil. So soil is classified on the basis of proportion of the particles, that means size, texture, consistency of the particles of various sizes. Soil is classified based on the proportion of the particles, based on the size of the particles. The soil is classified into three types. They are sandy soil. So sandy soil contains greater proportion of big size particles. So big particles will be there in sandy soil, and it will be light in weight. Because it will be light in weight, it will be well aerated. What do you understand by well aerated? That means lot of air spaces will be there. Air can be incorporated in that. So because it is light in weight, lot of air spaces are there. It is known as well aerated, and water can drain quickly through the spaces between the sand particles. Because the particles are very loose and they do not have tight packing between them, and there is lot of air spaces. If you water it, the water will quickly go inside and it will drain inside. So, and it is very much dry. It will not hold much water. So sandy soil is soil containing greater proportion of big size particles, light in weight, well aerated. It has lot of air spaces. It is loosely packed, so it can incorporate lot of air and water. So water can drain quickly through the spaces between the sand particles. So because there is lot of air space, that air space will be filled with water when you water it, and water will go down, penetrate deep quickly, and this soil is usually dry to touch. You know sand, everybody knows sand. You might have seen sand at the construction sites, beaches. So sand is usually dryish in consistency, right? So this is about sandy soil. Now moving on to clay soil. Clay soil has greater proportion of fine particles. Sandy soil was bigger particles. Clay soil has very small sized fine particles. Small sized particles are known as fine particles. Then particles are very small. The sand has big sized particles, right? Here this particle size is very small and it is tightly packed, whereas the sand loosely packed. Whereas the clay soil, it is tightly packed, has little spaces for air. Because it is tightly packed, there are very little spaces for air, so it is not well aerated. Then water is held in between the tiny gaps between particles of clay. But even though there are no well aerations, but still there is water holding capacity. That means good water holding capacity. Clay soil, many might have you seen. We play with Play-Doh, right? So Play-Doh is usually same as clay soil. So the consistency of Play-Doh, what we children use, and the consistency of clay soil is always similar. So water is held in the tiny gaps between the particles of clay. So there are no much air gaps, they are tightly packed, but still good water holding capacity, and it is heavy to hold. Sand, everybody uses sand, it is very light, whereas clay is little heavier than the sand to hold, and it holds more water than the sandy soil. It holds more water, more water holding, water retaining capacity clay soil has. Now moving on to the loamy soil. Loamy soil is the equal mixture of clay soil and soil is amount of large and fine particles is same. So it has both large particles and small size particles in equal consistency, 50-50 consistency. Then it is best for growing plants because it has equal consistency of big and fine small particles. It is very good for growing the plants, and it is a mixture of sand, clay and silt. The soil is a mixture of sand, clay and silt. Now what is silt? Silt is found as a deposit in the river beds. Silt is also a type of soil, a type of sand. It is found as a deposit in the river beds. Then size is between those of sand and clay. Sand is bigger in size, clay is smaller in size. But the size of the silt is between these both. That means neither small nor big. A medium-sized quantity of the soil will be there. The size will be very medium, neither too large, neither too small. Too large means not like sand, too small means not like clay. Medium-sized sand particle will be there. Silt is found in the river beds, and the size is between those of sand and clay. And it has humus. What is humus? Remember, remind yourself, dead rotting matter. So it has humus and good water holding capacity. It also has good water holding capacity and humus. If there is humus, what happens? Humus makes the soil fertile, provides good nutrients. So that is why loamy soil is always best for growing plants and everything. So this is about the soil types. So moving on to the properties of the soil. In the properties of the soil, we will be dealing about the percolation rate of water in the soil. So what do you understand by percolation rate of water? Percolation rate means the time taken by the water to seep down into the soil. That is to go inside, seepage. Percolation is nothing but seepage. Seepage means going down or getting absorbed by the soil. So when you pour water on the soil, in some time the total water will be absorbed by the soil, right? So that time, the seepage, the filtration of water inside the soil is nothing but percolation. So we will do a simple activity to know the percolation rate of water in the soil. You can take two tiles. You can mark a 50 centimeter marking on two floors. One on the kacha floor. Kacha floor means on a mud floor, on a mud road or a mud flooring, soil flooring. Let it be 50 centimeter length into 50 centimeter breadth. Same way in your house, on a tiled floor or a marble floor. Same way take a tile mark 50 centimeter into 50 centimeter. Then on both the floors, pour a glass of water. Then see how will the water get absorbed and how much time will the water take to absorb. See, common sense, what we understand is simple, is on a kacha floor, that is on a soiled floor or on a floor made up of mud or soil, the water will get absorbed immediately. The water will go inside, seepage. Percolation of the water occurs immediately on the soil, on a floor made up of soil or mud. Same way, if you pour water on a tiled floor, on the tiled floor, the ground will not absorb the water. It will just flow away to other tiles. So that is the difference how it shows. If you pour water on a soiled floor, on a floor made up of mud or soil, then the water will immediately go inside. The water will be absorbed by the ground. Percolation rate will be more for this kacha floor water. So that is the reason. So that is how it proves the percolation rate for the two floors. If it is on a kacha floor or a floor made up of soil or a mud, then when you pour water on that floor, the water will go inside the soil. The water will be absorbed by the ground. So whereas if you pour water on a tile, the water will not be absorbed by the tile. Whereas what will happen if it is not absorbed by the tile? It will flow to the other areas. So that is the difference. Kacha floor absorbs water quickly. It is absorbed by the ground because the ground is made up of soil. Whereas in a normal tiled floor, the ground will not absorb the water. So that is how it explains the percolation. Now moving on to one more experiment. Take a ground. Ground means any playground or a garden made up of soil ground. Then put a tin can. Tin you understand, no? You know, Coca-Cola tins, Pepsi tins. So that way you take a tin measuring 5 centimeters breadth and 20 centimeters in length. So 5 into 20 centimeters can you take. Make a hole at the bottom and insert the can 2 centimeters deep in the ground. Understood, right? Take a Pepsi or anything can. Take a can of Pepsi or an empty can of any cold drink. Then make a hole at the bottom. Then insert the can 2 centimeters deep in the ground, that is 2 centimeters deep in the soil. Then pour 200 ml water. Take any measuring glass, measure 200 ml water and pour into this can. Take a tin can of 5 into 20 centimeter length. Cut the bottom of the tin can. Insert it deep 2 centimeters in the ground, in a playground or a garden area. Then pour up 200 ml water into this can. 200 ml water can be measured with the help of a measuring glass or any bottle. Then you record the time, how much time did it take for this water to be absorbed completely by the ground. So for example, it has taken 20 minutes for this 200